primary. So north.
Do you not see my lights lighting you up?
I didn't see it, so I put in.
Okay. You got your license on you? You understand that you just destroyed the back end of your car and that was a no-go zone past where you were going through?
I didn't see.
You didn't see at all?
As the officer initiates the stop, we immediately see a critical interaction point, requesting the driver's license and registration. Under U.S. law, specifically, Delaware v. Prowse, officers can lawfully request these documents during a traffic stop to verify identity and vehicle legality. However, the driver's response is evasive, delaying the handover. This refusal sets the tone for the rest of the interaction. Educational note: it's important to know that failing to comply with such requests can lead to additional charges, including obstructing a public officer, which carries penalties depending on the state.
How much were you to drink tonight?
I had one drink.
One drink, that's it?
Yeah.
Why are you have a little bit of a slurred speech?
Oh, I only had one tequila sunrise.
When asked if she's been drinking, the driver admits to having one tequila sunrise. However, the officer notes slurred speech, a common sign of impairment. According to National Highway Traffic Safety Administration (NHTSA) guidelines, slurred speech, unsteady movements, and bloodshot eyes are potential indicators of DUI. These observations provide officers with reasonable suspicion to investigate further. Case precedent: in Missouri v. McNeely, the Supreme Court highlighted the importance of collecting objective evidence, such as field sobriety tests, before making an arrest. Here, the officer relies on verbal indicators, which, while valid, should ideally be supported by physical evidence.
Or purchase.
Why do I need that? I need your vehicle registration and your driver's license, like I've asked twice now. Asking for your vehicle registration and your driver's license.
And
registration and your driver's license.
What do you need?
I need your vehicle registration and your driver's license. Sit out of the car.
I will when I get a chance to. You can step back.
Step out of the car.
You can step back.
The situation escalates when the driver refuses to exit the vehicle, despite repeated lawful commands. Under Pennsylvania v. Mims, officers are legally permitted to order drivers out of their vehicles during traffic stops for officer safety. By refusing, the driver not only heightens tension but also risks additional charges for resisting a lawful order. Educational context: resisting arrest is governed by state laws, but most jurisdictions consider even passive resistance, like refusing to exit the vehicle, a criminal offense. The driver's behavior here moves from non-compliance to active resistance, complicating her legal situation.
You can't force somebody else with somebody else's car!
When physical resistance begins, officers are permitted to use reasonable force to ensure compliance. In this case, the officer employs physical control techniques to remove the driver. While such measures are lawful under Graham v. Connor if deemed reasonable, law enforcement must balance necessity with proportionality. While the officer's actions align with legal guidelines, an earlier attempt at de-escalation could have potentially avoided this confrontation. Communication is key in minimizing conflict during high-stress situations like these. The arrest results in several charges: DUI, resisting arrest, and battery on an officer. These charges have serious legal consequences, ranging from fines to potential jail time. The battery charge likely stems from the driver's physical actions during resistance, a significant escalation that impacts her case. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, battery against officers occurs in less than 1% of all arrests but often leads to enhanced penalties. In this case, the driver's refusal to cooperate exacerbates the situation unnecessarily. Now, let's evaluate the key participants in this encounter: the driver and the officer. Ratings are based on professionalism, communication, adherence to the law, and de-escalation techniques. Justifications: driver. Professionalism, 4 out of 10. Displayed hostility and non-compliance, including refusal to provide documents when requested. Physical resistance during the arrest led to unnecessary escalation. Justification: professional demeanor requires cooperation even under stress. Respect for law, 3 out of 10. Lied about the extent of alcohol consumption and resisted lawful commands. Violated multiple laws, including DUI and battery on an officer. Communication skills, 5 out of 10. Initially attempted to communicate but became defensive and confrontational. Failed to de-escalate the situation through constructive dialogue. Overall rating, 4 out of 10. The driver's actions not only escalated the situation but also demonstrated a disregard for safety and legal procedures. Primary officer. Professionalism, 8 out of 10. Maintained a calm demeanor despite the driver's resistance. Used appropriate language and followed protocol during the interaction. Respect for law, 9 out of 10. Demonstrated clear adherence to the law in handling the situation, including requesting documentation multiple times and issuing commands within legal limits. Justification, ensured the driver's rights were observed while enforcing the law. Communication skills, 7 out of 10. Clear and consistent in verbal commands but could have used more empathy to de-escalate the tension further. Justification, effective but slightly rigid in handling the situation. Overall rating, 8 out of 10. The officer demonstrated strong professionalism and legal knowledge, with minor areas for improvement in communication. Backup officer. Professionalism, 7 out of 10. Assisted effectively but showed slight frustration during the altercation. Justification, professional but could have been more composed in response to driver hostility. Respect for law, 8 out of 10. Supported the primary officer without overstepping legal boundaries. Justification, followed procedures and upheld the driver's rights. Communication skills, 6 out of 10. Clear but lacked the ability to defuse the driver's aggression, potentially escalating tension. Justification, functional communication but less effective in de-escalation. Overall rating, 7 out of 10. Played a supportive role effectively but showed room for improvement in communication under pressure. Visual chart of ratings. Here's a graphical representation for quick reference.